Welcome everyone. I am Snehashish Das, your biology faculty. Today I will discuss about human digestive system. What is the meaning of this digestive system? The system which is used to break down the food into its nutrients. So, what is nutrient? See, the food we are consuming have to break down into the simplest unit, because the food we take is a form of complex unit. There are different types of nutrients present in it, and for the absorption of this food we have to break down in its simple constituent units. So this process is known as digestion. So if we define digestion, we will say the breakdown of food into nutrients which is to pass into the circulatory system. So what is the circulatory system? Circulatory system means the system where the blood flows. We have to give the nutrients, we have to push the nutrients into that circulatory system where the nutrients can flow to its destination points. That means where it is needed. So the breakdown of food into nutrients which is to be passed into the circulatory system to get transported where needed is known as digestive system. So now we will see that what are the steps required in this digestive system, or we can say what are the steps required in this food processing. First of all, as you can see in the picture, the first step is ingestion. Ingestion means taking up of the food with the help of mouth. First of all, we know that the food comes in our buccal cavity. This mouth part is known as buccal cavity, and the tracheal this part is known as pharynx. It will go into the larynx portion. Pharynx. It will go in the pharynx portion, and after that, after this is the process of ingestion. Then the food will break down in different parts of this alimentary canal. So first process is ingestion, then second process is breaking down of the nutrients, third is absorption of the food material or the nutrient, not directly the food. It will be break down into the nutrients, and that nutrients will be absorbed into the bloodstream. It gets absorbed in the small intestine part. So it gets absorbed in small intestine. In the villi part, we know, I will discuss in our later classes also. And after that, after the absorption, assimilation happens. Assimilation means the packing of the food, and it gets transported where the requirement of the food is there. Then after that, there is a process of egestion. What is being egested is the waste material after the digestion process. After the digestion process, a lot of waste material generates, and that waste material get egested after it passes from the large intestine and it egested from the anus. Now if we see in the picture that the digestive system consists of two parts. First of all, the alimentary canal. This long path is known as the alimentary canal, and the second part is digestive glands. So the alimentary canal consists of mouth, then buccal cavity, then pharynx, and after pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, then large intestine, and finally ejected from the anus. Now, the associated glands I have mentioned in the picture also. First of all, we have saliva in our mouth, which consists of salivary gland, which is used to break down the starch molecules. We know that the first digestion happens in our mouth only, where the starch is being digested, and after the digestion of the starch, or after passing the food material, see, the whole starch is not being digested in our mouth only. The rest part digestion happens in this path, in the stomach, in the small intestine. Now moving to the next gland, that is gastric gland, which is present in our stomach. Then after that, liver, where the bile juice is secreted, we know, and the function of that bile juice is to emulsify the fat. Emulsify means the breaking down of the fat molecules. Now, next part is pancreas. Pancreas secrete a mixture of juices, pancreatic amylases, or I will discuss in this part in our next sessions. And after that, intestinal glands. So the whole material, alimentary canal and its parts, digestive glands, different types of digestive glands, helps to break down of the complex food into the simple ones. Now, if we talk about our mouth, what is the function of this mouth? First of all, we have to see what is present in this mouth. We have teeth, we have tongue. So, function of the teeth is to break down the food material. It is used to masticate the food. We bite, we grind, we tear. This function happens with the help of teeth. And the tongue. Tongue is used to mix the food with the saliva, which softens the food, and it also break down the starch into the simple molecules. Now, saliva, if question comes like this, what does saliva contains? Saliva contains salivary amylase, which is used to break down the starch molecules. Now, one more interesting thing is there. See, this pipe, we have esophagus, and the frontal pipe is known as trachea. Now, if we ingest the food, why doesn't it comes in the trachea? Because we have flap. We have flap like a thing here in the trachean part, in the opening of the trachea, and that flap like thing is known as epiglottis. It is a flap-like structure which is present in the throat, closer to the trachea, which prevents the food to enter into the trachea. Suppose if the food enters in the trachea, then it will create a severe accident. The person may die also. So it prevents the epiglottis. The name is epiglottis. It prevents the food entering into the trachea. So it smoothly passes from the esophagus. Now, let us discuss about the teeth. We have teeth in our buccal cavity. There are 4 types of teeth. First one is biting teeth. We bite like this. This teeth is known as biting teeth or it is called incisors. Incisors or biting teeth or cutting teeth. Now, suppose you are eating meat. What you do usually? You tear the food like this. Like this part of the teeth are used for tearing. We tear like someone tears like this also. So these two parts we have tearing teeth. The tearing teeth is known as canines. First of all, what I have told you, incisors, biting teeth, tearing teeth, canines, and after that we have premolars. Premolars we have here. This is grinding purpose. The premolar are for grinding purpose, and after that we have molars also in the back side. These are also grinding and tearing. Grinding like this. So we have 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. You can see in the pictures also. I have mentioned in the picture. See here, I have mentioned the picture. First of all, there is incisors, right? Right, we have incisors. Then in this 2 part, we have canines. Then we have premolars, and after that we have molars, right? There we have 4 types of teeth. So if someone asks you how many incisors are there, we have to calculate like this. We have 2 jaws, upper jaw, lower jaw. Lower jaw is movable. Upper jaw doesn't move, right? Upper jaw doesn't move. Lower jaw moves. So if we talk about the milk teeth for the child, we have 3 types of teeth: incisors, canines, molars. Lower jaw, they have 2 and 2, that means 2 incisors, 1 canines and 2 molars. And in upper jaw, I'm talking about the milk teeth for the child. In upper portion there is also 2 incisors, 1 canines and 2 molars. Whereas if we talk about the permanent teeth, we have in upper jaw we have 2 incisors, 1 canines, 2 premolars, 3 molars. In lower jaw also we have 2 incisors, 1 canines, 2 premolar and 3 molar. So we have 32 teeth. Overall we have 32 teeth. Whereas in temporary teeth they have the child have 20 teeth. See, I have mentioned in the picture also. Now tongue. What is a tongue? Tongue is a muscular organ which helps to taste and mix the food with saliva. Where the food get mixed with the saliva, and it helps to soften the food. It helps to make the bolus, where the food comes into the esophagus and moves to the stomach with the help of a movement that is known as peristaltic movement. I will discuss it later. First of all, I will say about the tongue. We feel the taste. It is used to mix the food. So there are basically 5 types of taste: bitter, salt, sour and sweet. And last one is umami. Umami is known as the 5th taste. So how does we feel the taste? We have the taste buds in our tongue which is used to detect the taste in the food. Different portion of the tongue have different taste buds which detect different types of tastes. See in the picture, the bitter portion in the back side, sour in these 2 sides, sweet and salt. This is the main 4 types of the taste, whereas the umami is the 5th taste. Now, tongue also helps to push the food until it becomes the bolus, and then after it becomes the bolus, it goes down the esophagus with the help of peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement means the contraction and the expansion of the esophagus, which helps to move the bolus to the stomach. It connects the buccal cavity with the stomach. It contracts, it relaxes the walls of the esophagus, which helps to move this food, these bolus, to the stomach. Now, if someone asks you, where does the digestion first start? Digestion first start in the in the mouth, in the buccal cavity, where the saliva mixes with the food, where it breaks down the starch material present in the food into maltose, which is a simple form of the sugar molecule. Now, it also moistens the food. It helps to kill some pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria means harmful bacteria. It also helps to kill the harmful bacteria. Now, what is esophagus? Esophagus is a muscular tube which is of length 30 centimeter, through which food passes from the mouth to the stomach. As we chew our food, our tongues helps to mold our food into a mass called a bolus, and then gets pushed back to the mouth, and we swallow the food and it enters into the esophagus. And we know that epiglottis helps to prevent the food to enter into the tracheal part. Now, after going through the esophagus, it enters into the stomach. And what is a stomach? Stomach is a J-shaped structure where the food is stored and gets digested. Upper part of the stomach, as you see in the picture, is called fundus. I have mentioned in the picture also. Middle portion is called cardiac stomach, and the lower portion is called pyloric stomach, or it is also known as antrum. So the lower portion is called antrum. Now, pyloric stomach leads to small intestine by an opening called pylorus. See, there I mentioned in the picture, the opening of that portion is called pylorus, and it is guarded by a sphincter, a flap-like structure. That sphincter is known as pyloric sphincter. Now, the inner wall of the stomach bears a longitudinal folds. You can see there are different types of folds. It is known as rug. R-U-G-A-E, rug. These are the longitudinal folds inside the stomach. So, again I am repeating what are the three parts of the stomach: fundus, cardiac portion, and pyloric portion. Now, small intestine, the pipe present, pipe-like structure. This is the longest part of our gut. It is of 7 meter long and 2.5 meter diameter. It has three parts: duodenum, which is of C-shaped, then jejunum in the middle portion, and ileum is the terminal portion. See the picture of the small intestine. See, we have, if we see the inside that pipe or inside that small intestine tube, we can see different types of finger-like projections at the mucosal layer. It helps, this finger-like projection, these are the foldings which increases the surface area of the absorption of the food. It has brush bordered columnar epithelial layer, provided microvilli. There are different small villis are there, which increases the surface area of the absorption of the food. Villas consist of capillary network and small lymph vessels. These small lymph vessels is used to absorb that food material, absorb that nutrient into the blood capillaries, into the bloodstream, where it will get transported to different parts. We need to push that food into the bloodstream, where it helps to transport that food to different parts of the body. So, this is the function of small intestine. Then, the last part of the of the digestive system is known as large intestine. Large intestine is 1.5 meter long, and it has three parts. What are these three parts? It has cecum, colon, and rectum. So it has three parts: cecum, colon and rectum. See, this cecum, it is not well developed in our body. It is well developed in herbivores, but very small in man. Arising from the cecum is a finger-like projections. You know about appendix? Yes, it is known as vermiform appendix. Arising from the cecum is a finger-like vestigial organ. Why vestigial? We have no use of this organ nowadays. So it is known as vestigial organ. It is called vermiform appendix. Now, the second part is called colon. The colon consists of like this ascending portion, then transverse portion, then descending portion, and after that it has rectum and anus. The colon consists of ascending, transverse and descending portion. Then after that rectum is there. Rectum consists of pelvic this is the pelvic colon which leads to rectum, which opens out into the anus. Anus is guarded by a sphincter flap which has circular voluntary muscles where the waste material will move out from the body. So this is the overview structure of the digestive system. I have discussed in this video about the structure of the digestive system, the overall structure of the digestive system. In my next video, I will discuss about the mechanism of the digestion, how the glands are responsible in the digestion, how the complex material gets shifted into the simplest one. This thing I'm discussing in my upcoming video. So this video ends up this much only. If you have query in this whole anatomy about the digestive system, feel free to ask me. I will try to give every possible answer of your question. Till then, thank you.